Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, created and hosted by Scott Knudsen, to explore the crossroads of horses and business. Now here's your host, Scott Knudsen.
Hi, welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen. Whether you're listening to us on KCAA, the NBC affiliate out in California, or watching our show on our podcast on one of our many platforms, we want to thank you. Today we have Janiece Johnson-Wilson back on the show for part 2. She is a clinician. She's been in the horse industry for over 60 years at a very high level. She's a Hall of Fame member of pole bending, and she's a writer with a brand new book coming out this summer. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun to do my podcast.
I love it.
I'm from the old school. I'm into organic computers, and to see what these electronic computers can do and how much fun it is to do these things. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Oh
my goodness.
What
a
are you
surprise.
doing?
What a surprise. You look great. How you been?
She told me to.
Yeah.
That is so great, Wylene. I'm so good to see you.
Yeah, I'll come sit down for a little bit.
Come on, sit a spell.
Yep,
So what have you been up to? You've been traveling?
Well, it was a very sad experience because I just came home from Hawaii.
Oh my.
So I was really upset about it. I wasn't there longer. It was amazing. And just had a little R&R, which I don't get much of. So that was nice to just wake up and walk out to the beach. And
my goodness. How great is
but
that?
I'm on my way to Houston tonight. So I'm on a plane here shortly. So I've got a little bit of time.
Awesome.
Hey.
Man, we're having so much fun with your mom. It's such a blessing to get to talk to her. And we recorded part 1 last week, and everybody's like, man, she is so great. Do another one. So, so much knowledge.
She's kind of awesome.
We're doing part 2, right?
Doing part 2.
There's always a part 2 with Janiece.
The viewer demand. The viewer demand.
I live by plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D.
That's good.
Well, I'm just fly by the seat of my pants.
I'm
like the tumbleweed nobody can catch. Like, there it is. Wait, no, it's over here. I just blow into town and blow out of town. I'm like, Mom, I'm here. I gotta do some laundry. See you later.
Yep.
I'll do some laundry. I gotta do this. Gotta go here. Here's your drink. Gotta go. It's never longer than a day.
She brought me a drink. A lemonade today.
That's good.
I did because it's amazing. It's sangria lemonade that you get from Salad and Go. I'm not trying to shamelessly plug them, but just know it's pretty.
It's pretty good stuff.
Oh, out of this world.
Well, I'm happy you're getting some time with my mom because she's a kick in the pants, and we've all learned something from her. For sure.
I am too. You know, when we met in Fort Worth, or I got to meet her and we talked, and she's just such an amazing lady in person, and the stories.
I know.
What was that like growing up? So in part 1, she told the story when you were 8 and you trained somebody's horse. Y'all were traveling somewhere.
One day.
Yeah. That was the first horse I ever started that legitimately started.
Was it really?
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up with your mom?
I guess I didn't know it any other way, honestly. And I would have people come along and they would say, oh, you're so lucky to have like a mom that supports you and takes you places and you get to ride horses and do things. And then I'd see the big rigs at the high school rodeo and the fancy horses. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't that lucky. I had to earn it.
That's right.
It's so true. The cool thing about my mom, the one thing that's cool about my mom is that she's non-conventional and she doesn't care what anyone thinks. I'll say it. She don't give a fat rat's ass what anyone thinks. And she's prides herself on her knowledge and her experience. And she comes from a loving place, obviously. And so growing up, I think, we didn't recognize how much we were being groomed and prepared for life, but she taught us how to be road warriors and how to work hard and to be cheerful and to be respectful and, to enjoy life. Yeah. Enjoy life and smile. Look at me. I'm happy all the time. And I think, a lot of that comes from my parents and the way that they raised me and
We weren't helicopters.
No, and I think about that all the time as a parent. Like that was something that was great about my mom and dad. They were like, y'all just figure it out. Like we're not going to help you. Like figure it out. We're busy working on big people problems. Like you guys.
Yep.
I love
And so
it.
I think we were suited for ourselves. Like we'd be riding. I remember riding with Winda one year when she was 5, I was 7, and we had these 2 ponies. One was named Blackie, and he was a little Navajo reservation, little stunted kind of.
Oh yeah.
He
it was
looked like a
horse.
Mustang, but he was poor thing. He just wasn't much to look at, but he was kind of slow and not easy to eagerly get him to go because he was just so dang lazy. And then the other little pony we had was he was a POA, wasn't he?
Yes.
His name was Red. These are really original names, by the way.
Yeah.
Blackie and Red. And Red was kind of a spooky, goofy, kind of a quirky little guy. And Blackie, hell, he didn't care what you did. You could put 12 kids on him. He didn't care. But Red was a little more sensitive. And so Red was very scared of tarps. And so I always came up with the brilliant idea to just drag a tarp behind him.
Might as well.
To get him going so that Blackie would get going. And that's how we as girls, like as riders, when we were young, we didn't have saddles. I mean, this is all bareback, maybe
Love
with
it.
like twine in their mouth, it was,
Yeah.
But my mom, I remember one time, this makes me laugh. But one time I was out messing with a horse and I was kind of being ornery to it. And she sat out there in the trees and watched me. And then as soon as I saw her shadow, I was like, oh no. She saw what I'm gonna pay for that. And I remember one time, I don't know if you switched me then or if you paddled me then, but I remember she's like, you won't ever do that again. And I was like, you're right, I won't. And
No,
I look back and I'm like, I'm so glad you busted my butt because I needed it. That's what's wrong with kids nowadays.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Knock it off, kiddo. You better.
I learned it from my mother. You didn't make mistakes and you didn't want to make mistakes.
No.
Yeah.
And they expected us to be, understanding and by the rules.
There you
And
go.
I expected that out of my kids.
Yeah,
too.
we were good kids, like we weren't, our idea of being bad was like sneaking out at night to go steal horses out of the barn to go riding. Like it was never, we were pretty good kids. And where we grew up at the barn, it was like a big community. Anyway, it's just this big revolving door of amazing people and funny people and quirky people and a lot of different horses too, for that matter.
Yeah.
And
We had a lot coming in, all kinds.
but I just I wish we could go back to that time. I wish we could rewind, 30 years ago, just to sit in that, to be at the barn and just because now with all the technology, I wish we had drones back then, and I wish we had iPhones and ways to capture what we were doing, because there's all this lost art that we never captured on film. I mean, hundreds of hours of it. We were doing really brilliant, beautiful things with horses, but it was never captured on film. So now I think that's why we try to document and
explain
and show people what to do with their horses, because it's a dying, lost art, and a lot of people need encouragement. They need good coaching advice, and obviously there's an opinion from everybody. I try to see the beauty in everything that somebody brings to the table. Even if I don't like someone's method, I go, but there's something I can take from something they do.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I always have a generous appreciation for other trainers and other clinicians. I have nothing but the utmost respect for those who put themselves out there.
Mhm.
And because it makes me want to be better, makes me want to try
Absolutely.
harder. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I don't know. It was, it's taken me a while to get my life figured out and what it is I'm doing, where I'm going, but that's okay. I'm just a bit of a wild journey, and
we're all trying to figure it out. Absolutely.
I know nobody has it figured
No,
out.
I was going to say, I sure don't.
It's called onward and upward.
Absolutely.
Onward and
Absolutely.
upward, and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remind myself on a constant basis just to find the joy and the love in my life that's all around, and to be grateful for what I do have.
Yeah.
And I think I was grateful to be raised by parents who were pretty frugal, and we never went to the department stores. We shopped at the thrift store.
Yes.
I still shop at the thrift store.
Yeah.
And that's something my parents instilled in me, was to be smart about the way we spend our time and our money and our energy. And I was glad that we had that opportunity to grow up at the barn, because it was like nonstop riding
wonderful.
or working.
Love it.
Year round.
Oh, it was fun. I
Isn't it
miss
fun?
Arizona. I miss all of it. I miss the whole community aspect of it. And even the barn, just all the wackadoodle horses that walked through those barn doors.
Yep.
We had
all
a bunch of them.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Yep,
Yeah.
and we had fun with when you go to the thrift store and find all those treasures. My
So
motto
true.
is, when you got it, you flaunt it, and
Yeah.
that's why. And that's
There you go. I
why,
agree with you.
yeah. Wylene has some beautiful jewelry and stuff, and she sets a good example.
Yes, she does.
Right.
Yes, she
Yeah.
does.
I try, I think,
I try. I'm very trying.
yeah, just try to do the best I can. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect.
My mother, one time when she was in the hospital, they came in and said, "Eva, how are you feeling?" And she said, "With my fingers."
The jokes never get old.
Yeah.
They
the jokes
don't,
never
and she
go.
just keeps coming with them. Just keeps
Oh, let me
on.
tell you, she's just getting warmed up. There's much more, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I've forgotten more than I can remember.
I always tell everyone, hey, if you're gonna call Janiece or spend time with her, I'm like, set aside a day.
Yeah, just
You
put it
need some
aside.
time.
Put
It's
it
gonna
aside.
take time.
Yes.
So just
yes.
buckle up and get educated.
Let the
She's gonna-
knowledge fly.
She's gonna come at you like a fire hydrant with information.
Yeah,
You're gonna be drinking from the fire hydrant.
yeah,
So,
from the well of knowledge.
yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we're good. We're
Yes.
happy. And I'm appreciative for my sisters, and they're all equally different. All the siblings are different in our own way, and we're all beautiful and talented in our own right, and we all bring something to the table.
And excelling.
Yeah,
I have three
absolutely.
older brothers, and a lot of people don't know I have older brothers.
I didn't know
And
that.
My middle brother is a double amputee. He has no feet.
Wow.
He's a Symes amputee, but
I love doing that. And people go, no,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
what happened?
and
And
cut him off.
we never knew he was handicapped because it wasn't a thing in our family. It was like he was part of the tribe,
Part of it.
regardless of what his body looked like. And it was
Love
cool to grow up with a brother that was that way, because he used to poke fun at himself, and he had these prosthetic legs, and he'd turn them around backwards and goof off and kick him off in the middle of a football game. And like, he was just a really big goofball and a kind of a comedian.
Isn't that
And,
great?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great way to have a brother that was a good example of when you
Yes.
have things in your life that maybe try to slow you down. You would never know he was handicapped ever.
Yeah, he's an EMT paramedic firefighter, and he bought a business, and he's been very, very
And listen,
successful.
he set out the goal to run a marathon, and I looked right at him and I said, Jay, if you decide you're going to run a marathon, I'm going to run right next to you, because you don't have feet and I do. So
Yeah.
what is my lazy ass excuse? Come on, Wylene.
Absolutely.
Like, your brother who has no feet wants to run a marathon. Like,
Oh
what's
my
your excuse?
goodness.
Scott will be right back with more.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Today, we're going to talk about something I'm really passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. Those that don't, now you know I do. And we've been working on this for several months, and we wanted to get it just right. And we don't put our name on anything unless we feel 100% certain it's the best product we can get. And we've done it. I really believe we've done it. We've created a coffee line, 13 great flavors. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We have K-Cups in all 13 flavors. Here's a Jamaican Me Crazy. It's just a really great coffee. Everyone has great logos. It has a brand, the same brand that's on our horses, our trailers. You know that brand means something, and we wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't good coffee. We have whole bean. This is a great Honduran blend, and it's a whole bean coffee. We have whole bean in all 13 flavors. And then we have a ground coffee. This is a really great one. My wife and I really like this a lot, loved it. So we named it after our daughter, Hades Blend. Everyone has the packaging and the logo of the show, our brand, and I hope you like it. I really believe you will. And we're gonna have more flavors coming out soon. We're gonna have the pumpkin spices, and then we're gonna go to peppermint after that. And please send us your suggestions as well. You can find it at cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Think coffee shop. Cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Thank you so much.
You know, we have our family is quite unique.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Isn't that
Yeah, we
great?
traveled a lot with the whole family and took those kids all kinds
I
of
don't know how
places.
she did it.
Well,
don't
one
either.
day at a time, one thing at a time, you know.
Oh, we were hellions. Oh, we were hellions, Scott.
And I
Oh.
dressed them all alike in Hawaiian shirts to go
Did
to
you?
Disneyland and Sea World and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Because you listen, if you got lost, you could find
You could find them.
You could see a Hawaiian like
They were
t-shirt of the-
beautiful, blue.
There they
black,
go.
with little flowers on them, and we being florists, well, it was just ran right with them.
Yeah,
And
that's funny.
yeah, so that we looked good and we dressed alike for yearly pictures for the calendar and stuff like
I
that.
love that.
Yeah, it was.
You know what? My mom, I think, you know, you just have to think of like a mother hen. She like loves you, but she doesn't care about you. She's like, hurry up. We got things to do. Like, got to tend to business, you know?
Yeah.
Care business
You know,
first.
so she wasn't the nurturer really per se. She knows this. She's not really a
Yeah.
homemaker. She's a worker. She's
Yeah.
she's a breadwinner.
I'm not a show horse, I'm a workhorse.
Bingo. See, she knows.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think, you know, growing up, we weren't raised typical, that we didn't fit in the normal category box, right?
Yeah.
And I was grateful for that. Because
Yeah.
we didn't have neighbors. We didn't grow up with neighbors. We grew up with horses, and we were kind of in the ghetto, honestly.
Yeah, we lived in the ghetto.
Like the largest Latino gang was across the street.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
come on.
No,
Yeah.
prostitutes on the street going to, when I go to school, they were on the street, and hey, I was friends
And
with
then
them. It was
they-
fine. And then we
Yeah,
had some
yeah.
gangers that would drive by. You know, it's fine.
And
We
and
survived.
drug dealers.
Yep.
Across the street.
But you know what? If I have not gone through those difficult times, like you can set me down anywhere and I can handle it. Like
Yeah,
because
right.
our mom and dad taught us how to think on our feet and to read and to know, like even read a map and understand, because when we were delivering flowers, that was before GPS.
Wow.
Nobody knows how to read a map nowadays.
No.
It's
I
I don't know. They
tragedy.
taught us a lot of great things, and I think, man, I need to be doing more. You know, like she plays several instruments in every sport there is. My dad was the same way.
Wow.
Could sing and dance, and
Oh, we
Isn't that-
danced
Every instrument.
everywhere. We were good.
yeah, we were good.
So what was your favorite dance?
Oh, the swing.
The
Western
swing. Oh,
Yeah.
see.
We do Western dancing. You know, I married a great dancer, but I had already, when I learned how to dance, I'd never learned to dance until I was 18, and I went to my first rodeo, and there was a drunk there where it was in Jim's bar in Fresno, and he
Those
says,
are the best ones to learn to dance with.
Yes, they are.
and he says, yeah, you're from Phoenix, and you know how to do the Arizona, the Phoenix special. And I said, no, I don't know how to dance. And he grabbed me up out of the booth and didn't let me get off the floor until I could do the swing. And so I got to dance all through college and all through Europe and all through every place else,
Oh my goodness.
and married a great dancer.
Yeah, my dad
It was a great
amazing.
dancer.
That's
and-
awesome.
We put on a show on that floor. It was a wonderful time.
We've been pretty fortunate. We've had a really good time. When I say that, I'm not talking about riches beyond measure. I'm saying just like the little small things in life where you get to enjoy and do things as a family and travel and go places and laugh about things and go through hard things. And
Isn't that wonderful?
yeah, it's
Isn't
been a
that
wild
wonderful?
ride, but it's been great. You know, and like she always says, you just have to just smile. and be
Yeah, that's
glad to
it.
be alive.
That's it.
Be grateful to be alive. At this point, there's a lot of people right now that wish they could be upright.
Absolutely.
and-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep, every day is a gift. So I don't
Absolutely.
ever take it for granted. I always say thank you, and I'm grateful for my friends and the amazing people I get to meet and the horses I get to ride and the places I get to go. That was all meant to be, but it was because I was raised by great parents who taught me how to be in
That's
society
awesome.
and be a contributing good member of it.
There you go. Isn't that
I don't want to
awesome?
be a menace to society. My mom would have kicked my ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say she'd be looking for that
She don't, mama
twig.
don't play around.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I mouthed off to her. I
Uh-oh.
was like 8 or 9. I don't remember, 8 or 9. I don't know. But I was on my bike and you came down the barn road
Uh-huh.
and I stopped to her and she just reared back and just slapped the living snot right out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just cold clocked me. And let me tell you, I deserved it because I know I was mouthing off. And the next thing I know, she gets a hold of my face a little and I go quink and I hit the ground. And all I see is the back wheel of my bike spinning and she's driving away in the rattly Suburban. And I'm like, oh, she got me good on that. I deserve that one. I did deserve that. She left me. She was like, you know what? You don't mouth off to your mother.
No.
That was all it took. And then I never mouthed off to her again after that.
Yep.
And look, I turned out okay.
Yeah.
Turned out
She
great. Yes. She's over there.
got
Yep,
so
I did.
I was gonna say, she got so ornery and sassy.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Yes,
Oh,
that she was just starting to come up. She was about 12 or 13 in FFA at school. And she came home. You won't let me go. And I said, well, I'll let you go where? She said, to Russia. I said, to Russia? What are you talking about? Well, they're going to take exchange students. And I said, get the heck out of the door and go.
She said, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah.
She's like, bye.
And
She's like, again, she loves you, but she don't care about you. She's like,
No.
bye.
got the money
Figure your
together
life
and
out.
sent her over. And we sent 10 exchange students from our school, and Russia sent back 10. So that summer we had an absolute blast. When I took those Russians, they came off the plane. I said, grab a swimming suit and some.
We drove to California
And I
right away.
yeah, and I drove to a friend's house next to SeaWorld, and but the next day they were going in, and there's a tunnel, and there's the Jeep like things, and we were at Disneyland, and they got stopped. Those poor Russian kids, they couldn't even speak English, but they'd never seen fish, they'd never seen an ocean.
Oh, it was so fun.
Oh,
It was so
it
fun to
was.
share that with them. And you really learn a lot about yourself when you go to another country and you see
Oh,
poverty at its
and
like
she
highest
did.
level, and communism as well. And let me tell you what, it shanked me back hard.
Did it?
Your tie down. I mean, it put the stop to me, and it humbled me, and I lost a lot of my ego, and I lost a lot of my sass, because I realized how grateful I was to be alive and to be an American. Truly, I came home
Absolutely.
and I kissed the ground that I was standing on. I mean, it was.
I bet so.
I did. I came home and I was grateful for the ice in my cup. I was grateful for air conditioning. I was grateful for deodorant. I was grateful. I was just grateful
Everything is grateful.
for it all. And I think everybody should spend some time abroad.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And I did spend time, and when I got to Yugoslavia, I was in a cellar with all the meat hanging and all of the cheese and everything. And
Some James Bond shit. Right?
Yeah, I'm thinking that
It
is.
was
You might want to get out of that room.
and there was 6 of us, and we got down to the beach and met 6 hunky, good looking Yugoslavians. and
Yeah.
we were on our way to Greece because one of my friends owned an island in Greece, and
Oh, just a friend owns an island in Greece. Everybody
Might
owns
as
an
well.
island in Greece.
Well,
My mom knows people.
oh,
Well, I'm thinking she knows a
I
lot.
said it for 10 years. And so,
Do you see where I get it from, Scott?
Now I
Now
understand.
you know.
yeah.
Now I understand.
Now it's revealed.
This
Yeah.
didn't even make part 1. How did you leave this out? An island in Greece.
Oh, yeah. How did I meet him? That was Tacivatus, and he was the 2nd largest Greek shipping magnate in the world, and he was Aristotle Onassis' next door neighbor. And we traveled together, and we had fun, and
But this is why you go, because you never know unless you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the same thing with
No,
horses. You never know unless you try.
Absolutely.
So don't
Say
ever
yes.
stop yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned. It's like universal. That's a universal law. Just always try. Take a
Yeah.
step forward.
Absolutely. Say
You never
yes.
know what's on the other side. You just
And
don't.
His
Right.
offices were in the trade center that we lost, but I don't think they were there that day that they blew up the building. So,
Mm.
yeah. And I was in New York, getting ready to go to Europe, and he calls up and he says, you want to come over? I have my old ship is in town. You want to come over? And it was a Greek ship. And it was a huge ocean, barge. He shipped oil and he shipped everything else. And I got to go down to the bowels of the ship, like 5 stories, and down there to the big engines and all of that stuff. But we got up there, and the cook was Greek, and how came the first meal, and I ate it all. And the second part, I ate it all. The third, 7, 8.
Everybody knows Janiece likes to eat. She's
Yeah.
a
She
foodie
likes to
before
eat.
foodies were a foodie.
Yeah.
Before foodies were foodies, that was
That was her.
Yeah.
All
she
right.
loves food.
And
She taught us to love food. We
Yeah.
love food.
food's food. Mhm. But anyway, we had about 30 people in that dinner party when we were on that ship, and we just kept eating and eating and it was delicious. And yeah, we used to have a lot of fun with Tassie
wow.
and the family.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, that was the years I was going car racing into the Indies, and I went to the
Car
big old,
race.
yeah.
I can't keep up with her.
I don't know
I'm
how.
trying.
I'm just like, it
I-
just keeps coming.
Yeah, what do? I just sit
Yeah, I
here.
don't know.
So,
Well, that was kind of funny. When Wylene hit a teenager, she found my scrapbooks of my old pictures
oh yeah, that's right. I did.
What did you think?
with what I had done when I was younger. See the size of that goat. It was women's goat tying, and it was full size 200-pound goats.
Well, there's one of her flanking a calf, and I'm like, okay, you're pretty legit, Mom.
You're
Like,
tough.
you're
Yeah, that's
hardcore.
tough.
If you're
Well,
if you're
I've got
flanking
the-
calves, like women don't flank calves. They don't rope calves and flank
That's
them down.
legit.
She was
That's-
flanking them. So, she was pretty gritty and tough. We already knew that, I think, all along.
Yes.
But she was always, she was raising a family for the longest time. So
Yep, this is see the size of that calf.
Oh
on
my
it?
goodness. That's a good size
Ramona
calf.
Cal Poly in 1963.
Look at that calf.
Yeah, and you can see the size of those calves, because girls were tying full-size calves just like the boys. And, there I'm finished on that calf.
Look at you. That is an
Yeah.
awesome picture.
pretty cool picture.
Yep.
It
She had
is.
this really cool little, wasn't it a Sun Devil vest?
Yeah, this is the Sunderville, one of them. The first year was gold and the next years were maroon. So
That'd be so cool to just jump in a time machine and go back to the 60s and
Wouldn't that
watch
be cool?
rodeo. Oh my gosh, I would give anything. That would be amazing.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be wild to
This
go
is
back
just
and
how
watch
things
your
were
mom?
back then. Just
Yeah.
wild.
This is a picture of me with the Arizona's team trailer for the horse shows, for the
That's
rodeo kids to
awesome.
travel with. And I'm with my jumping horse, getting ready to go to the horse show. And yeah, I had lots of fun when I was younger and when I was older too. Basically all my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I've been watching her coach people for my whole life,
Yeah.
whatever it took to get them.
I love that.
Whatever it took.
It fell down. And here's Tana, my one that helped me find Monty Foreman. And,
Oh, okay, that one's okay.
yes, that's the horse
Great
that
picture.
what I was searching for help with so long, and spent 4 years of my life from age 15 to age 19 trying to just control her instead of letting it be Mother Nature's way. And that's the secret. You have to ride and obey Mother Nature's law. It's not about training, it's about teaching. And when you teach a horse how to be a happy horse, you got the best of the best. And now that we know how to do it so quickly and fast, and that was what Monty wanted, fastest, quickest, simplest, easiest, most humane method from beginning to end, any horse, any place, anytime, any situation.
Love it.
But he taught people by moving the horse's feet.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Everybody does that on the ground
Yeah.
really well, I might add.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But on the saddle, I think a lot of people feel way more insecure.
Oh, yes, they,
I'm the most secure in the saddle. Like she
Yeah.
taught us to just get on and handle it and fix it on the fly, like go.
Right.
Because through the movement is how you teach it and how you change it and how you transition. So
and get the fear out, and the human and the horse
Mm-hmm.
both together. And so I coached Wylene all the years that she gymkhanied, and from age 8 on, she was state champion every year in her age group. And it was a lot of fun, even on horses that she'd never been on before.
oh yeah.
Yeah, she'd
I
go
borrow horses and jump mount them and go and run them and win on them. And
I
I mean,
love that.
obviously that's kind of something that runs along in our line because Minda
Yeah.
jump mounted at the NFR 2 years ago on a horse she'd never even
Yes,
ridden
she did.
and placed,
Yeah.
and was second one round. So, that was something that was really vital and beneficial, being able to be exposed to so many different types of horses.
Mhm.
You could hand me anything and I could be able to chameleon my body to that horse because I've done it. I've practiced it. Like she said, I've done my 10,000 hours. I've mastered it. I mean, and it's not easy. And
Right.
and it can be really difficult sometimes, but you gotta have a little gravel in your gut, And
Yeah.
I remember multiple times that I would come off of horses or I'd had horses go down with me. Everybody would gasp and run, and my mom would be like, she's fine.
A little
She's
dirt
fine,
doesn't
she's
hurt.
fine. She never was like, oh, my God. She was like, get up, let's go. Come on, let's
Yeah.
run another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Knock
So
that dirt off.
I grew up with, hey, just if
Suck
your
it
legs
up,
aren't
sis.
broken, stand up and get on and let's go.
I love
And
it.
so multiple times I've had situations where I've come off her and she was always calm and collected. That's how I am in those situations now
Yeah,
as
you
well.
have to be calm
So,
and collected.
I'm really grateful that I was raised that way. And I think that's
Mhm.
a rare thing to find and to have in
Absolutely.
your life. And so I'm very fortunate. And
One year I bought a new speed horse named Roxy, and she was a big Palomino, and she was Leo bred.
Oh.
And Wylene got out there and picked on her a little bit.
yeah,
And
I'm like
that
shaking my head
mare,
because I'm like,
oh,
I
that
remember.
mare jumped and kicked and left Wylene in the air as she scooted out from under her. And
I thought that was
laughed and
Oda.
oh, that was Oda. Yeah,
Okay,
that
let me
was
back
Oda.
up this story. Hold on, we're gonna back
Uh-oh.
up. So I'm 12 years old. I'm at Western Saddle Club, and I'm on this hot number, this rocket donkey runaway, but patterned barrel horse, pretty hot, pretty blown up at the gate, would not go in. So I'm trying to get her in, and I'm like spanking her, and she's just sulling up, and she finally just gets flat mad. The mare does.
Yeah.
And she rears up. So she rears up like lip is on her. So she rears up and then she kicks out. So when she rears up, it kind of pops me up out of the saddle. And then when she kicked, it pushed me up out of the saddle and she took out
And
right out from underneath me. So she left me literally suspended in the air while she took out from underneath me.
Yeah, that was.
I landed on my feet. She took off and went in the arena.
I
and
am still laughing about that.
Because it was like you couldn't have recreated it if you tried. It was one of those like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have filmed that.
Right.
I had a camera for every time.
Oh, that would have been so
Oh.
great. So great.
GoPros. I wish I would have had a GoPro all of my childhood, the whole
Oh.
entire thing.
Could you imagine? What would
All the
somebody
ditches
think
we
now
were
that saw you
swimming
do
in,
that?
horses we were confiscating from out of the pasture. We just like borrow them and just throw a piece of twine in their mouth, make a little war bridle and swing up and away we
Go.
go. We were like shadows in the night. You'd never know we were there.
I love it. I
It was
love it.
fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well,
Oh.
I had, they came back with one of my best saddles. The stirrups ripped off, and the fenders ripped off.
We had a swing set. It was a thing. It's fine.
But they told me that
It was a lie.
it was
We lied.
that they got caught.
We
on
were
a
going to go to
date.
jail.
Yeah. It was 2 years before I found out
Oh.
We were at
no.
a school. We were at a school.
in the mid 1 a.m. in the morning and playing follow the leader.
We might have got chased by the cops. It's minor.
It's wide open.
Maybe.
And what was they had a friend, she's 6 foot tall, long legged, and they went through the swing set and she had her feet out and that.
Then she caught
the swing and got guillotined.
I mean, she got spun around, flipped over
Flipped
backwards,
backwards.
ripped the fenders off the saddle. The horse takes off.
Oh,
It's in a residential area. We're basically at a school chasing this horse down the road on the asphalt.
oh, I love it. I love
Oh man, it was, you know what, that's the kind of criminal activity I'm involved in. Yeah, that's it. Just smuggling horses and ripping
That's it.
fenders. And
Ripping
that's-
fenders. Yeah.
But I got the saddle fixed and it looks beautiful
Oh,
today.
God, I'm
so,
hard on stuff.
Yeah.
But what a story it has.
Uh-huh. Well, and those kids had a good time, except for when Wenda was riding Lacey and running wide open, and she was running. And instead of bending her and stopping her.
Oh,
or
no, that's
turning-
not what happened. I was there. Hold on.
Yeah. What?
The horse kind of grabbed the bit and took off with her, which is fine. She's like, oh yeah, normally I let her run, it's fine. But what had happened is the area that we were in, it was a riparian, so they would like overly like water it and flood it so that the birds would come in and migrate, and then they would take videos and pictures and watch all that. And so they put a sidewalk of all things in the
Yes.
middle of it. So and it was overgrown, so we didn't see it.
Yeah.
She hit that thing wide open and it was like hitting ice. And when she fell, the horse did a complete front flip, and so did she. And I mean, it was a wreck. I mean, she shouldn't have walked away from it. And I mean, she broke her collarbone.
And
So
and-
blessed. That was
and
it.
we had a high school rodeo 2 days later.
Oh no,
So-
but that wasn't the important thing. The important thing was we had glamour shots that next day. And the guys, you know, doing her hair and like trying to put the bow on her. And she's like, hey, don't touch me. My collarbone's broken. And he's like, your collarbone's broken and you're doing photos. And she's like, yeah, my mom made me. Like, it was just like, we're committed. You're not getting out of this. Even you break your collarbone, you're going.
Yeah, yeah, still getting your picture.
She did, yeah, you're still getting your pictures done.
But the next day, we had a quarter horse show and
Yep.
we had a high school rodeo. So I took a polo wrap and wrapped her shoulder and our arm onto her body, and she had to ride one-handed at the high school rodeo. And then at the quarter horse show, I had to have Wylene ride her barrel horse and pole horse. And everybody had fun.
Yeah.
But Wenda.
Wenda still has a massive bone.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She has a lump.
Yeah.
But they slid and burned that side of the mare, and
Oh yeah, it was a wreck. It was a bad deal.
and she was a beautiful Arabian that we had, and fast and could run, and
She might have been pretty, but she was a little bit on the, you know, like
Yeah.
she didn't have a brain some of the time. And that day she just happened to like turn off. And then I remember when it was like, well, bear down, here it comes. Cause she didn't know, you know, the sidewalk was a new addition to this field, and because they were basically it's like in town now that the city's built up around where we were. And so now there's just a lot more community, right? So we didn't even know it was out there. That's why it was kind of a mistake, but also we didn't know.
big
Right.
surprise, big surprise.
Well, that's just life. You can
Yeah.
never control outside influences. That's why you have to be aware. You have
Love
to
it. Love it.
And you got to be blessed by the Lord.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
She
Were
was
you good on
blessed.
time? You have to catch your plate, or are you
I need
good?
to go. I do need to
Okay.
go, but I'm so happy that I had this opportunity.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
so good to see you. It really
Yeah,
is.
it worked out good because I'm not normally here. So I just was here for a little bit of a layover. I flew in this morning at 7 from LA, and then I go to Houston, and then I start lessons and clinics tomorrow.
Doing your thing. Doing your thing. So you're in Houston. You're just flying right over us.
Yeah, I'll just wave.
Yeah, just wave. I'll wave up. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Well,
See,
thank you. You guys.
Thanks
can
for
keep
popping
visiting.
in. Yeah,
No, you
thank
bet.
you.
You bet. No, this has been a pleasure. Thank you.
So much fun. We'll see you
Okay,
soon.
well, have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay,
Okay, bye, Mom.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, love you.
See, love you. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Have fun in Houston. Well, that's my crazy kid.
Oh, I love her to death. She's so great. So
Yeah,
great.
Lots of good stories and experiences, and yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Scott will be right back with more. For more information on Scott Knudsen, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
But I find in teaching people that I have so many interesting types of people, and I've done everything from handicapped to very, very successful horsemen. And it's always a blast for me because I just love to see them have results. And when they have results, that makes me happy.
That's
And,
awesome.
you know, I know how to encourage them and push them. And I coached 40 years, the general public all sports. And so that degree came in handy, and I never knew I was going to be a PE teacher.
Isn't that funny
That
how
was my
life takes
hobby.
you?
That was my hobby,
Was it?
coaching. Yeah, because I owned a flower shop, and it was 24/7. And I had 6 kids and 100 horses in the barn, and ran the flower shop and ran the barn. And so I was busy, Jose.
Really? Oh my goodness.
When Wylene and Wenda got into junior high and high school, they said, "Mom, you've got to come help us." Our coach, that coach who doesn't know how to teach softball, and that doesn't, you know, they were college graduates and teaching what they teach in college to these young kids, and they wanted to slap bunt and they wanted this and them, yeah. And I just told so she invited me to come over, and I said, you know, the most important thing is run, hit, and score, and having fun. That's what they will always remember. And it is about how technical you get at this age. They can be technical when they get to college because they love the sport. But so I went in one day and redesigned her whole program and taught those kids how to bat on the spur of the moment, anything. And still, that coach is still one of my best friends, and she has 10 kids now. She lives in Queen Creek where I live, and we see and we reminisce about the good old days. But she was very, very confident. But I was in there as her assistant the first year, and then the second year I was assistant softball coach at her the high school. I was working with a man, and the man are, and they wanted a woman so that I could keep the temperament
Right.
like it needed to. And it was fun. It was amazing. I just went in there and say, "This is the way it should be. This is how you do it." And he looks at me and says, "Aye, sir."
Well, do you think teaching softball or coaching softball with the kids helped you? Did it translate over to the horses and coaching people?
Absolutely. I had done horses all my life, and knowing what I knew after Foreman gave me the ideas, and also my training as a professional, it was really easy to transfer this to that. And it was fun. We had a lot of champion teams. I've coached, I don't know how many teams in the last 40 years. And it was wonderful. But volleyball is my favorite and special, and also softball. But, you know, and I could coach but football or basketball or archery or golf or
Just whatever.
Yeah, I've done it all.
I love that. I love that.
Yep.
So much fun. And God, I can't believe our hour's almost over. It just goes so fast. In part 1, I wanted to ask you the word dressage.
Yes.
Dressage scares a lot of people when they hear the word dressage.
Yes.
Can you break it down for the audience?
Okay. I usually tell people the word horseman means what? It means wisdom. It means knowledge. Common sense, horse sense is what a horseman has to have. And everybody thinks that somebody that's riding a horse, that you can be a beginning, intermediate, or advanced. Of course, our goal is to get advanced and ride horse show rules and pretty and beautiful at the horse show. But I've been to the World Show many times. I've watched the warm-up pen. I've watched the riders look like they were absolutely miserable. they were statues on the top of the horse. In some classes, their arms straight down, and others their side at a 45-degree angle, and that's great. And their outfits are beautiful, and their saddles are beautiful. But that's not the real world when you get on a real horse.
Right.
And so everybody's goal is to get to that horse show and become a national champion with that horse. And it's a lot of fun. And there's some very competent people, but they're going by man's rules, not horse rules.
Mm.
So, and people that love their horses need to have the opportunity to know more about them. So that they are an equine. They're not a human, never will be. Stop trying to make them into a human, and stop training them. Training is conditioning them. So when you're teaching kids in a ball team, you do the drills, you get, set up things where the body has to move, and that's teaching. And so I would love to get rid of the word training, because people take it the wrong way. They think if they repetition, do it. It doesn't help. It's teaching how to move the feet. Right. So that part's very, very important. Now, dressage, what it really means, it's a French word for horsemanship. That's all it is. And all the Western people are scared, but now they're doing Western dressage and cowboy dressage, thanks to, I forgot his name in California.
Right. They got a new association, right? It's been around a little while, and it's really neat to kind of watch.
Yeah. Well, I was at at a show barn in California teaching the reining trainer how to ride reining horses better than her apprentices, and helping them, understand what they had to do. And he's in California, and he's wonderful. His books are good, and what he does in it. We had 23 riders that second day I got to that barn.
Wow.
And they came in, and he taught Western dressage because he was having a show to introduce them to it. And anyway, it was wonderful. But all they did was learn how to bend and how to go in a straight line. And there was no horse handling in it. It's hold on tight and manipulate that horse, and instead of allowing the horse to do it. But that's what dressage is all about: getting them in hand, getting them collected, and teaching them to pretty much go like they're supposed to go. Well, horse handling science is not like that at all. You're going to be running wide open, and they're say whoa and slide in and roll away and put a galloping 360 on the top or two, and and bust out wide open, come to a pretty slide and stop, and drop the reins, and the horse walks out happy as a clam. Yeah, it's really cool to watch it. And I got to ride it and got to do it, and I can still feel the feel and the thrill of great level horsemanship. And Monty Foreman used to say, folks, this is not English. This is not Western. This is world horsemanship. So my challenge for everybody is, let's go to the world level. Be the most spectacular rider on a horse that anybody ever saw. And, when you look at the movies that are on of the 1800s, and watch, the policeman in New York City, everybody's riding with four reins. There's a reason why. It works better. And the horse gets a clearer message of the four commands that they're interested in. To the horse, they only want to know, is it forward? Is it back? Is it right? Is it left? And the rhythm is in the elbows, not the fingers, and not the hands, and not the wrists. It's just giving. Yeah, giving. And soft hands. give, yes, yes. And in Monty Foreman's book, published in '83, he talks about giving the bit. And you have to be in rhythm with that movement in the horse. So that bit is never pulled on. So when we pre-cue a horse to tell them something's going to change, we will touch them on the neck, and that prepares them. They already start stopping, already get the dorsal flexion, already are waiting, just wait which way you look.
Love it.
And,
Love it.
and when you're doing it fast, it's a whole hoot. We used to have in Arizona, it's been 30 years ago, we had have horse shows. And the shows were all jackpot. And it opened to anybody at any level. And so I was the judge for that. And we started it off with everybody coming into the arena in that class that they entered. We had hunt and jumping and a cow work and Western and bareback and, whatever the class was. But I would talk to them and call I've got a.
Yes, you do. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I'll move over that. That's
Perfect.
It's the Venetian blind behind you and behind me, in front of me. But anyway, we would call circle, reverse, roll away, at whatever speed I wanted to see them do. And what it did for the riders is it totally relaxed them, and they weren't on their toes trying to be perfect for a judge and be intimidated by a judge, because the judge was helping them and talking to them and encouraging them.
Wow.
And so 5 minutes or so of that before the class, it was ready to put it in competition. So they were on their honor. So folks were going to speed it up and ask for a maneuver, and it'll be at the canter. And if you make a mistake, excuse yourself and come to the next class and try again. And they loved it. It was jackpotted. The first one that we had, a little girl that was about 11 or 12 years old on a nice, well-schooled horse, went out there and blew the barn doors off. Yeah, and we got to the reining part, and that involves double 360s and inside rowels and out top, and really complicated basic movements that a horse should be able to do with a rider. And when they came in, we did again, reviewed, and then put them on the honor system. But then I had 3 gals out there that were my students that were on really good horses, and they were putting triple. When we did the freestyle, when we did the freestyle portion of it, and they were totally on their own, and we had already gone through the basic maneuvers of about 15 of them. And when I looked around, those gals were putting double inside rolls and triple inside rolls and rollaways and triple 360s over the hop, and trying to shake the other gal up, and they did a great job and had so much fun. And the few horse shows that we had that way were really fun to do. And so they said, that's the way horse shows should be. You should be having fun, relaxed, and not feeling like somebody's judging you, but encouraging you to ride well.
I love it. I love it.
The goal is to always have a happy horse under you. When you have a happy horse, it'll be on call. Everything you think will be happening automatically, because the horse judges you by your behavior and not your bit. So when they read the legs, they read the hands, they read when you turn your head and shoulders, and it gets really simple, with a horse that knows how to keep cantering and doing cool stuff. I had a couple of gals go to the World Freestyle Championships, and one was doing, the trucker, she's had headlights on that horse and everything, but they messed up the music and it was a good routine. And the top rider in our state and the other gal was on the Arabian, and he was the flying purple people eater.
Fun.
And had a big purple cape that when she was galloping all over the hawks, that cape was flying and it was beautiful. And she was really on time with that horse. Fabulous riders, fabulous horsemen. And they're just from their own backyard.
I love it.
Yep. It's a pleasure to get to talk to you and see why.
It was so much fun. I'm so glad she stopped in for the show, and it's so good to hear from you. And thanks for what you do. And I'm telling you, everybody's kind of seen the preview to the show, and they love it. They love you. And thanks for everything you do.
Yep. Thanks a million.
Yes, ma'am.
That's really fun. And when you're ready to do it again, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
We're only on the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you to all the great sponsors of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. If you or your business is interested in being a sponsor of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, please call our office at 830-992-1786 or visit our website, cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific. I would like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know that I love my coffee in the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening. I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, I am proud to say that my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show and I have created our own brand of coffee, and I want you to know that we got it just right. We don't put our name on anything unless we are 100% certain that it is the best product available. We have created a wonderful line of coffees offered in whole bean, ground, and K-Cups. Any way you like to brew your coffee, well, we have a product for you. Now, each of our coffees carry our brand, the Knutson family brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses and our trailers, so you know this is a high-quality product. We only use the very best beans available in making our coffees. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to javacowboy.com. That's javacowboy.com. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase by just entering the promo code COWBOY on checkout. Remember, that's promo code COWBOY for an extra 10% off. Just go to javacowboy.com to order your coffee today.